What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Straight here, back in the video. Today we're here with part 2 of my 2022-2023 NHL standing predictions. So in part 1 of the video, you saw my regular season predictions. Again, you guys saw all of that. The Atlantic Division, the Metropolitan Division, the Pacific Division, and the Central Division. You guys saw all of my predictions. And in this video, you will see the NHL playoffs for the 2023 playoffs. These are my predictions. Again, probably going to be very wrong, but I still feel like I have a pretty good chance at this. So you never know. So before we hop in the video, I actually have a new thing here. Social media. Go follow me. Go subscribe to me. Again, you're on YouTube, but subscribe to the channel if you want to. And you can also go follow my Twitter at Pt.2 and follow my TikTok at Pt.2 as well. You guys will find those in the link in the description below. So just so you guys know that, hope you guys go follow those, and I hope you subscribe to this video. So I feel like we should hop right into this video, and we're going to start on the Eastern Conference. So let's hop right into it. In the first matchup, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Ottawa Senators. So this is going to be a really good matchup. Battle of Ontario, Toronto with home ice advantage. And I have the Maple Leafs winning in 6 games again. People are probably going to say, oh no, Toronto's going to lose in 7 games again. It's the Ottawa Senators. It's not the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's not the back-to-back champs that used to be the back-to-back champs. I think the Leafs, they did really good in the playoffs last year. They just came literally just short of 1 goal. They weren't like the Montreal series. I just really think they're a really good team this year. Preseason played good. Murray's looked pretty good. I feel like Murray's going to have a bounce-back season again. I said that in part number 1. And I think they're going to have a really good season, and I have them winning in 6 games over the Sens. I feel like the Sens are going to put up a pretty big battle with the Leafs. It's going to make them tough. They're going to be all close games, but I have the Leafs winning in 6 games and advancing to the second round. Next playoff round is the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. I feel like this is going to be a really good series again. Battle of Florida. This was, 2021's first round, if I'm not wrong, and Tampa won that one in 6 games. And I have the exact same thing happening. I have the Tampa Bay Lightning winning in 6 games. Still a really good team. They did lose guys like Ryan McDonough and Andre Palat, but I still think they're a really good team. And I don't know, I feel like they're going to beat the Panthers. Panthers did a good job again to Matthew Tkachuk, but they lost Jonathan Huberdeau and a really good defenseman in Mackenzie Weegar, so that really hurts the defenseman depth. And I have Tampa Bay Lightning, and they also have home ice advantage, so I feel like that's going to help. As you see in the background there, actually, Victor Hedman, he's a really good defenseman. He's still there. They did lose McDonough on the D, but I think Hedman's a really good defenseman. And I have Tampa Bay moving on to the second round and beating the Panthers in 6. In the next playoff matchup, I have the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Boston Bruins. I think this is the exact same matchup as last year in the first round. I have Carolina have home ice advantage, and I have the Canes winning it in 6 games. Again, the Bruins did a really good job bringing back David Krejci, signing Bergeron back to that really cheap deal. Again, guys like Marchand, McAvoy, and I think Grzelcyk are going to miss the start of the season, so that'll hurt them. But I still think they're a pretty good team, but they'll push them to 6 games, but I feel like the Carolina Hurricanes are too tough. I feel like they're going to beat them in 6. It's not going to be... I feel like Carolina's going to dominate, but Boston will have a few lucky games. Carolina's just the better team, in my opinion. Good goaltender in Freddie Anderson. Hopefully he doesn't get injured like last year in the playoffs, but a really good goalie. Ront is a really good backup. He could still be starter. He's not a bad goalie. They have so many good forward. Adding Brent Burns to that defense made them so much better. And as I said, the goaltender. So they're forwards. I think Carolina's going to have a really good deep run this year, and I have them advance to the second round in 6 games. The last matchup in the Eastern Conference in the first round, I have the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. This was also, if I'm not wrong, this is last year's first round. There's a lot of rematch. I think the same teams will do the exact same thing. So I have the New York Rangers again. They have home ice advantage, finished 2nd. Pittsburgh finished 3rd. And this is going to be a really close series. But I think there's going to be something that happens really big. I have the Pittsburgh Penguins winning in 7 games. I feel like Crosby, Gensel, such an underrated player. Their team, adding Jeff Petrie on that D, Tristan Jarry's going to have a really big year. And I feel like Pittsburgh is just a really good team overall. And I feel like they're going to somehow beat the Rangers in 7 games and move on to the second round. The Rangers do have home ice advantage, but I feel like Pittsburgh's going to shock the Rangers and beat them in 7. And I have Pittsburgh moving on to the second round. Here we are in the Western Conference. I did all my Eastern Conference predictions. Now these are the Western Conference. The first matchup, I have the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. So actually, I had 5 teams in that division facing just like the Atlantic Division. And it'll be, again, Edmonton, Vancouver. Edmonton has home ice advantage because they finished first. And I have the Edmonton Oilers winning in 5 games. I feel like Edmonton's just too good of a team for the Vancouver Canucks. Again, the Canucks have a pretty good playoff experience because they made it to the conference finals in 2020 against Vegas and lost in like 5 or 6 games or something like that. Put up a pretty good fight. But I feel like Edmonton, they went to the conference finals last year, got even better. Again, Jack Campbell, their new starter, that'll help so much. But I feel like Canucks did a pretty good job, and they're going to be a really good team the year after this one and have a better standing prediction. Adam McKay to that top 6 will really help. They paid him a little more than I expected. It was like $4 million a year, so that's a little much. But, McKay's a really fast player, and I would know that because I'm a Leafs fan. He played for us for quite a bit. And, yeah, I have the Oilers winning in 5 and advancing in the second round. Then we have a pretty good matchup with the Calgary Flames and the Vegas Golden Knights. Again, the Knights coming back into the playoffs. They don't have a really good starting goaltender. They have Brossoit and Logan Thompson, but I still think they're a really good team. Again, I already said that in the standard prediction. I'm going way off topic. But here in the playoffs, Flames, Golden Knights, I have the Flames winning in 6 games. Their team is just too good. After adding Uyghur and Huberdeau, they're such a full team. Their team is really good. I feel like they just are better than the Golden Knights, fully. I don't know. Vegas, they did really good in their first year going to the Cup final, but I just feel like the Flames are just the better team overall. Markstrom, a really good goaltender. Again, Vegas' goaltender is going to be that good, and that's why, again, Flames have home ice advantage as well. That'll help them. But that's why I kind of have Calgary winning the series over, unless I would have it to 7 games. Their goaltending for Vegas, they're probably going to have Logan Thompson being their starter. That's not ideal. But, yeah, I have Calgary going to the second round. The next matchup in the first round, I have the Colorado Avalanche and the Los Angeles Kings. I feel like this will be a pretty good matchup, but, from last year, the Cup champs, I feel like they're going to keep it going, and I have the Avs winning in 5 games. They have home ice advantage. We're first in their division. I just feel like they're better than the LA Kings in total. The Kings are a really good team. Again, adding Kevin Fiala. To be honest, it might not be 5. I feel like they're going to push it to 6. So I'm actually going to change it to 6 games. I feel like LA did a good job again. Their forward group looks pretty good. Defense is young, like a guy like Sean Durzi coming up, going to be a pretty good defenseman. Drew Doughty's a pretty good defenseman. He's been injured quite a bit, but he's still a really good defenseman. Other than that, though, their defense isn't that great. And then Jonathan Quick and Cal Peterson. Quick is getting older, so you don't know how he's going to play. And Peterson, he's still a younger guy. He's like 26 or 27, so he's still a pretty good goaltender. But yeah, he's had the Avs moving on to the second round, winning in 6 games. The last matchup in the first round in the Western Conference, I have the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild. And this is going to be a really good matchup. Again, the same first round matchup as last year. A lot of teams that are rematching. But I think the same result's going to happen last year, same amount of games. I have St. Louis winning in 6 games. I feel like their team is just better overall. Good defense, good forwards. Hopefully Bennington bounces back from last year. I just think their team is really good. They have a lot of good experience from winning that cup in 2019. A few guys are still on that team. Tarasenko's still a really good goal scorer. And I feel like their team's just better. Again, Kaprizov is really good for the Wild. They lost Kevin Fiala, so that hurts them a little bit. That's why I have them not as good now. Again, as I said, I had the Blues winning in 6 games. They have home ice advantage. And yeah, I have the Blues moving on to the second round. Here we are in the second round. Did all my first round predictions, and now we are here at the second round. So we're going to start off with the East, just like we did in the first round. The first matchup is the same matchup first round of last year. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I feel like this is going to just pounding. Leafs have home ice advantage, just like last year, but I feel like it's going to be pounding. They're just going to be pounding each other nonstop, hitting, punching if they have to, scoring goals, playing defense. This is going to be the biggest matchup, or the second best matchup of the playoffs. I have a bigger one coming up, you guys will see. But I feel like this is going to be a really good playoff matchup just like last year, and I have the Maple Leafs finally beating Lightning from last year in 7 games. Just after getting that first over that first round hump, beating the Center in 6, I feel that'll give them a lot of momentum, and they'll beat the Lightning in 7 games. It'll be a close one, but I have the Leafs winning in 7 games. The other matchup in the second round in the East is the Carolina Hurricanes and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I feel like this is a weird matchup. Like, I don't know, I feel like, again, I thought the Pittsburgh would beat the Rangers. Rangers had a better regular season, but I feel like Pittsburgh will do a little better in the playoffs because they have a little more experience. But again, I do have Carolina winning in 6 games. I feel like Carolina is just too good for Pittsburgh. Even if with the Rangers, I still would have thought it would have went to 6 games. And it could go anyway. Like, Pittsburgh could lose to the Rangers, whatever. I still think this second round matchup would go to 6 games. Carolina's just too good. Again, adding Birds on defense, that just fully completes their team. I don't know how they're under the salary cap, to be honest. Their team is so good, and I really think they're going to beat the Pens in 6 games. They have home ice advantage, and I think they're going to advance to the conference finals. And we're going on to the West in the second round. We have a rematch from last year, the Battle of Alberta, the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames. Edmonton has home ice advantage this time. Calgary had it last season. And I feel like this is going to be a really hard-fought matchup, but I have the Edmonton Oilers winning in 7 games. It's going to be a close one. And adding Huberdeau and Weegar helped the Flames so much, but I feel like Edmonton is a better team than last year, and they still beat them in 5. I feel like adding Campbell really helps them. I feel like they're going to beat the Flames in 7 games. It's going to be a close one, but they're going to win it in Edmonton for the fans and advance to the conference finals just like last year. And that's why I have Edmonton advance to the conference finals. In the last matchup of the second round, I have the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. So I feel like this is going to be a really close matchup. They're going to be fighting, and Colorado's not as good as they were last year, losing Kadri. I feel like that really put a dent to their offense. Still think they're a good team, but I don't know, this is going to be really hard for people to say. This is going to be a close one for me. But I have the St. Louis Blues winning in 7 games. To be honest, I think they're a better team overall than the Colorado Avalanche. Maybe not the defense isn't as good. Again, I think Colorado is the best defense in the league. But other than that, I think they're a better team than the Colorado Avalanche. I feel like they're going to outmatch them a little bit and somehow beat them in 7 games. They're going to win it in Colorado, so it'll be a really sad day for Colorado fans. But I feel like they're going to lose in 7 games, and the Blues are going to advance to the conference finals, defeating the defending Cup champs. So good for St. Louis, but those are my second round winners. In the Eastern Conference Finals, we'll go to the East again. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes. Toronto Maple Leafs with home ice advantage. This is going to be the closest series of the playoffs, if I'm not lying. Closest series of the playoffs. It's going to be battling, fighting. Again, Leafs have a lot of momentum from getting past that first round and beating the Lightning. Carolina has a lot of momentum, beating a few teams, beating really good teams. But I still think Carolina is going to win in 7 games. It's going to be a close one. I'm not going to lie. I really do want Toronto to go to the Stanley Cup final, but I feel like Carolina is just too good for the Maple Leafs, and the Canes will win in 7 games. I feel like it's going to be like an OT winner in Game 7 or something like that. Toronto's going to take a penalty or something dumb like that, and they're going to score on the power play. I really do not hope that happens with me watching. I would really be mad, but it's either 7 games I think it's going to go to, but I think the Canes are going to move on to the Stanley Cup final. And the other matchup in the Western Conference Finals is the Edmonton Oilers and the St. Louis Blues. So Edmonton, in the exact same spot as they were last year in the Conference Finals, faced the Avs and got swept. They're facing the Blues this year, and I do not think that's going to happen this year. I think the Edmonton Oilers are going to win in 6 games. Again, I said St. Louis was a really good team, but I don't think they're as good as the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton winning in 6. They have home ice advantage, and they're going to move on to the Stanley Cup final. So you guys know our Stanley Cup final. It is the Edmonton Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes. I think it's the same Stanley Cup matchup not long ago. It was like 2000 and something. I feel like I remember this, and I forget who won. It was Carolina. I remember that because it was 2007 or 6. I remember because I remember Rod Brind'Amour winning his first Stanley Cup with the Canes, and now he's their head coach. It's pretty funny. But This is the Stanley Cup Final. This is going to be a close matchup. Connor McDavid versus Sebastian Aho. It'll be a close one. Jack Campbell versus Freddie Anderson. Old buddies in Toronto. This is going to be a close matchup, but this is my Stanley Cup predictions. I have the Carolina Hurricanes winning the 2023 Stanley Cup in 6 games. I feel like they're just, again, as I said, through the all standings, I feel like they're such a really good built team. I don't know, they're just such a good built team. I think they're just better than Edmonton overall. The offense, I feel like it's pretty close, but defense, I'm going to give the edge to Carolina. And Jack Campbell, he looks wonky, and Anderson's been pretty good last season. All season long, he was good. He really never had any bumps or anything like that. Playoffs, he did get injured. Hopefully he doesn't get injured or something else might happen. But I have the Canes winning the 2023 Stanley Cup. It's going to be a close one. It could go either way, but I still think Carolina is a better team. So yeah, guys, those are my predictions for the 2023. I know I'm kind of posting this video late because a few NHL games have already happened, if not only one. But I already made my season prediction. I kind of just doesn't matter anymore because it's just the playoff prediction. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget that like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you'll get notified whenever we upload a new video. See you guys later. Peace!